For every physical condition, there's a spiritual root cause. How can that be true? Let me tell you a story about my client, or now my good friend, who has had lichen sclerosus for over 5 years now. We began our work together, and at this time she had spent over $21,000 in stem cells. She had spent $1,000 more in functional medicine care, getting food sensitivity testing, extensive lab work, extensive supplemental therapy, and yet her lab work still showed elevated IgA, high LDL, low HDL, and her cortisol was still really high, yet her symptoms, she was still having flares. And LS is characterized by an immune disorder, genetics, infection, even trauma in the body. And on a physical level, we saw all of this to be true. Physically, we got her started on a great antiviral regimen, and then we healed her symptoms, her physical symptoms, using nutritional therapy. We had 6 weeks in of using food as medicine, learning how to do that for her. And then we started the antivirals, natural healing supplements, and then 2 energy healing sessions. Within 6 weeks, she came back to me and she said, "Jenna, it's healed." She went horseback riding. She had been doing things that she hadn't been able to do in years because of the damage to this tissue. 6 weeks it's healed. But this is where the story gets really interesting, and we kind of go back to learn that our physical autoimmune chronic illness conditions have a spiritual root cause, and exploring that is really a gift in itself. And I'm going to argue at the end that these conditions are a blessing. These symptoms are a blessing to put us into alignment spiritually. And it started when tissues were in complete remission, and she went to her OB's office. And at the OB's office, she felt very uncomfortable. She felt like she was getting her power stripped away. She felt anger. She felt hurt. She felt sadness. And she's never jived well with this doctor. But this doctor, has always told her, you're going to be dependent on the clobetasol. This is going to be your reality the rest of your life. And that energetic shift created a flare. She hadn't had a flare, and then she had an intense flare after seeing this OB. And this is where we dug into more of our work together, just through our consultations and through energy healing, where she saw that energetic shift, and she saw her energy change to where she became a reactor instead of an observer around her condition. Because what if the autoimmune disease is not the problem and the body's not attacking itself? You can read more on this and this whole story at my blog, middaypigeon.com. But the root of our physical conditions is spiritual. And we dug into that, and we found out with her where her power was being stripped away, where her energy was misaligned, and how in the first place she became an energetic match for an autoimmune condition, that whether it's an immune disorder, pathogen driven, or genetic, how is she a match to that in the first place? And now she's back on her road to healing. So this is a really interesting case study. I want you guys to go check out middaypigeon.com. If you're autoimmune disease, if you have a friend with autoimmune disease, LS, anything, this will be pertinent to you, because food is medicine, and our energy is medicine, and our thought is medicine.